Marijuana enthusiasts like Pedro Akinkoyi are concerned and frustrated after learning the state will be withholding millions in tax revenue generated by recreational marijuana sales. Under Issue 2, cannabis is taxed at 10%, and 36% of that is appropriated to cities and towns that agreed to add dispensaries. Since it was legalized, more than $30 million in tax revenue has been generated, which means $10.8 million should be going to municipalities. The city of Cleveland estimates it should be receiving at least $400,000. Governor DeWine's office says Issue 2 is missing the legal language or tax distribution mechanism to allow the state to distribute that money, so the state is holding it. Governor DeWine's press secretary Dan Tierney says the governor aims to reappropriate this tax revenue in the 2026 budget by redirecting it to combat the ills of drug use. Quote, the governor's proposal uses these funds to help improve local jails, fund the 988 Behavioral Health Crisis Hotline, provide law enforcement training, and other priorities. The state funding these priorities will free up local funds for other purposes and local priorities, end quote.
The state is talking about changing the rules in the middle of the game.
Ken Scarrett is the director of the Ohio Municipal League, an organization that represents 732 of roughly 900 cities and villages in Ohio. Scarrett says municipalities would not have added the dispensaries if they weren't going to get a fair share of the tax revenue.
I think that there's some cross-current activity over in the legislature that just kind of wants to undermine the whole system.
Governor DeWine also wants to increase the tax rate from 10% to 20%.
This legislature isn't really fond on increasing taxes unless they want to discourage an activity in the state.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kenn Dowell, coming at you with some real talk that's shaking up our city. As you know, recreational marijuana became legal in Ohio back in November 2023. The state promised it would clear 10% of the sales tax on cannabis, with 36% of the revenue flowing directly to municipalities with dispensaries in them. But now, Governor Mike DeWine has unveiled a budget that can change everything. He's suggesting increasing cannabis rates up to 20% and redirecting the funds away from communities. So what does that really mean for us here in Cleveland? We're about to dive into it.
This is Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell.
Governor Mike DeWine's budget proposal includes significant increase to existing taxes on recreation and marijuana sales, raising it from 10% to 20%. But that's not all. He's also proposing to eliminate the host community cannabis, which was established to ensure municipalities with dispensaries will receive their fair share of tax revenues. Instead, the fund would be used to redirect various state programs, such as the county jail construction program, renovation grants providing capital grants to local jails for construction and renovation projects, law enforcement training, additional training for police officers and state and local law enforcement. So what does that all mean for Cleveland? Without the anticipated tax revenue, Cleveland faced potential budget shortfalls. Cleveland officials were counting on these funds for essential services like public safety, infrastructure, and community programs. Redirecting this money from the state programs means that Cleveland might miss out on millions of dollars that was promised to bolster our community. Let's be real, folks. Voters spoke in 2023, approving Issue 2 with the understanding that tax revenues from recreational marijuana sales will benefit local communities. Now the governor's proposal feels like a bait and switch. It's sort of like someone taking your lunch money and you say you're not allowed to, and they just do it anyway. It's not just a financial issue, it's a political one. Lawmakers are caught between balancing the state budget and keeping their promise to local government. But at what cost? If Cleveland and other cities lose out on this revenue, it can lead to a strain on public service and diminished community support. House Speaker Matt Hoffman has voiced his support for redirecting these funds, stating that there's a need for a portion of the marijuana tax revenue to go to local law enforcement. So what's next? It's time for us to step up. We need a rally. We need our voice heard, and we need to hold our elected officials accountable. Attend your council meetings. Participate in community forums. Let your representative know that Cleveland deserves its fair share of the marijuana tax revenue. We can't let the state pull a fast one on us. Cleveland, we done faced challenges before and we done overcome them together, and this one is no different. We must stand united to advocate for our city's needs, assuring that every promise made is kept. Our future depends on it. I'm Kenn Dowell, and you've been listening to Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell. It's the time for all of us to wake up and take action. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay ready for the fight that's right.